Hey guys, Team Foxtrot here. Welcome to our presentation on forest plots. Today, you will learn a little bit about this amazing method of data presentation and maybe grow just a little bit as a student of science. This slide shows an example of a forest plot graph. We'll utilize this study on retention failures in cement and screw-retained fixed restorations on dental implants in partially edentulous arches, for example. This forest plot addresses studies with the following question. Do cement-retained fixed restorations exhibit fewer retention failures than screw-retained fixed restorations? So what exactly is a forest plot? Well, there's a lot of information packed into this graph. Essentially, it is a visual display of the estimated results from multiple scientific studies that address the same question. The results of all these independent studies are displayed within the table on the left side of the display. And the consequent meta-analysis of the results of these studies is displayed graphically on the right side of the display. Often the raw data included in these plots come from randomized controlled trials. Well, slow down. Then what's a meta-analysis? A meta-analysis is a statistical analysis that combines the results of multiple studies addressing the same or similar questions. The idea in a meta-analysis is to pool the results of multiple studies and yield a weighted average of all the individual study results. Each randomized controlled trial is represented by a horizontal line in the plot and extends towards the graphical representation on the right. The highlighted columns in these highlighted columns, we see the rates of failures for cement-retained and screw-retained prostheses that were found in each study. Generally, these two columns would show the control variables versus the experimental variable. In our case, there were no controls. The weight of each study is measured the weight of each study is a measurement used to gauge the strength of the overall study, that the overall study contributes to the meta-analysis. In statistical terms, weight is the inverse of the variance of that particular study. In general, if we look over the graphical representation of the data, we can see that the size of the box is correlated to the weight. Basically, the bigger the box, the greater the weight for that study. Now, the actual box corresponds to the point estimate of the risk ratio. The risk ratio is used to estimate the strength of the association between the treatments or risk factors and outcome. If it is the incidence of outcome with exposure over the incidence of outcome without exposure, the length of the line demonstrates the 95% confidence interval of each study, with a longer line showing a wider range of confidence interval. The boxes highlighted show the labels which are given to each outcome. So when the line deviates more towards the left here, it means that the risk ratio favors the cement-retained crowns. The line of no effect shows the point where the intervention has no effect on the outcomes. In our case, we're using a risk ratio, so the line of no effect is 1. A risk ratio of 1 shows that there's no difference between the retention of cement and screw-retained crowns. A meta-analysis combines all the studies into a single, more accurate measurement called the overall effect estimate. In a forest plot, the overall effect estimate is generally displayed as a diamond. The upper and lower peaks correlate to the point estimate of data, which is 0.26 in our case. The left and right edges show the 95% confidence interval, or a range of 0.09 to 0.74. Now we can immediately tell that our results are statistically significant for the retention of cement-retained crowns, since the edges of the black diamond do not cross the line of no effect. Since these edges do not cross the line of no effect, when we look over at our p-value, we should expect a number below 0.05. This is true because the p-value for the meta-analysis is 0.0. The test for heterogeneity is shown in the blue box, but this topic would need a whole other video to explain. Thank you for watching our presentation. Here are our references. I'll see you next time.